This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Current blood sugar is 6.7. Now, I taped this the same day as I taped the last video. My hair looks so good, I've messed it up. So, this all is the same. So it's good so far. I want to talk to you today about how to cope with diabetes. I've had many meetups with people over the years, some of them who really had an issue with just trying to cope with their diabetes. There was a lady, and I can remember her. She was just so petrified of needles. She would go running up and down the hall 3 or 4 times a day. And she would just try to escape the ward. So every time security would come up and guard the exits. Now there's a different system at that time. And I'm thinking, how would she cope? And I would assume she would have to come into some sort of facility like this. I'm not in here because I can't cope with my diabetes. I'm fine with me having diabetes. I can't cope with control. There's 2 different things here. I constantly try to control my blood sugars. By no means does it work. So we have to ensure that when we encounter people who are really having issues with controlling blood sugars, with coping with the blood sugars, that we show them empathy. It is important that they don't feel the stress. A lot of it can be resolved by talking to people and talking to other diabetics is sort of the best way to start the ball rolling. Years ago, I was put into the hospital, I believe for DKA or something, and I was put in there with a new diabetic. And at this point, I think it was 1920, and this younger guy, maybe 22, 23, came in and they put the 2 diabetics together. I guess they thought that I would help him on his road. All I remember was that we had to have the whole room dark all the time. And I mean, like, the blinds had to be closed. You couldn't have a light on whatsoever. And, if I had people come, oh, you'll have to go somewhere else. Okay, problems here. You may feel you need to have control. And I think, one, he was a little depressed about having diabetes. And he was depressed because he envisioned, because he had diabetes, he wouldn't be able to go out drinking with his friends. Well, maybe not every weekend, but sometimes things can be modified. You just need to learn moderation. I think his surroundings, because of the depression he was having about it, the lights formed a control factor. But it was hard when doctors would come. People would come in, open the door, he'd be yelling at them. I still wonder how he's doing today. I mean, he was very polite, don't get me wrong, but I still wonder how he's doing. Is he controlling his blood sugars? Or did his 20s get the best of him? I just hope he found acceptance of his diabetes. And it's so easy for diabetics like myself to become very isolated, that you have to control your blood sugars, you have to do your test. It's all kind of can shut a person off. So it's important that you have friends. Awesome. It's also important that you have diabetics friends. And I'm talking about people you can talk over things with. Diabetic support groups are awesome for helping us. I think diabetic support groups would have helped that guy. I never really had an issue with coping with diabetes. I always felt it was the price I had to pay. When I went to school, started high school, I was a chubby lad, let's put it that way. I passed and learning how to get my diabetes under control, I lost an awful lot of weight. So when I went back to school, a lot of people thought I was a new student. And to this day, I kind of celebrated I got diabetes, because if I didn't, I would have probably had a worse weight control than I do now. I'm not depressed about having diabetes. I don't get into it. I won't take care of myself syndrome because I'm so upset over it. Diabetes is a part of me. It's not the only part of me. I've learned to control what I can control. And insulin and testing is all part of life. In my mind, it's sort of like what I've had to pay in order to live a life. Does it mean I get tired of it? Yeah, you bet I do get tired of it sometimes. Who wouldn't? But people who have other medication, we just have to take shots. We can have pumps now. Things are getting a lot easier. Is it a cure? No. But you have to keep a positive approach. Remember that. Don't let it get you down. Do what you can. Follow a program. Find a diabetic support group or other friends with diabetes that you can talk things over with. I know it's easier said than done, but if you do that, you may find achieving your control will become easier. And with that, have a super day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thank you. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.